Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Welcome to Red Sox Focus. We have some significant roster news to break down before you get settled in for today's game, because the Boston Red Sox have made a pair of bullpen moves that deserve your full attention. The organization announced that right-handed reliever Justin Slaten has been placed on the 15-day injured list with a right oblique strain, with the move backdated to April 5th. To fill his spot on the active roster, Boston has recalled left-handed pitcher Tyler Samaniego from AAA Worcester. Samaniego will don number 78 and, barring any last-minute changes, is in line to make his major league debut. There is a lot to unpack here, so let's start where the concern is greatest, with Slaten, and then shift our attention to what Samaniego brings to the table and what his promotion means for the construction of this bullpen going forward. Justin Slaten is, without question, one of the more important arms in this Boston bullpen. When you talk to Alex Cora about how he envisions his relief corps operating on a nightly basis, the formula has been fairly consistent. Get to the 7th inning, hand it to Slaten, let Garrett Whitlock work the 8th, and then turn it over to Aroldis Chapman to close things out. That is a legitimate three-headed setup, and it is one that inspires genuine confidence when all three arms are available. The issue, of course, is that Slaten's availability has been a recurring concern throughout his young career, and this latest development does nothing to quiet those worries. For context, Slaten put together a strong rookie campaign in 2024, posting a 2.93 ERA across 44 appearances and establishing himself as one of the better setup arms in the American League East. The 2025 season was a different story. He was limited to 36 games due to injury, finishing with a 4.24 ERA, though his peripherals remained encouraging. A whip of 1.09 and a strikeout per 9 rate of 6.62 that reflected the kind of stuff that makes him a legitimate weapon in late-game situations. His pitch mix is genuinely exciting. A cutter, a sweeper, and a four-seam fastball that he sequences with uncommon sophistication for a reliever of his age. When Slaten is right, he is exactly the type of pitcher who makes the back end of a bullpen feel airtight. But staying right has been the challenge. This is now the third consecutive season in which Slaten has landed on the injured list, and that pattern is worth acknowledging even when the optimism surrounding the current injury is genuine. According to Jen McCaffrey of The Athletic, Slaten believes his oblique strain is minor, and he is hopeful that he requires only the minimum IL stint before returning to action. He noted that he first experienced soreness after pitching on back-to-back days against the San Diego Padres earlier in the month. That explanation makes physiological sense. Early in the season, pitchers are still calibrating the physical demands that come with regular season competition. Spring training is a controlled environment. Pitch counts are managed, rest is prioritized, and intensity is built gradually. When the regular season begins, everything accelerates. Back-to-back appearances for a pitcher working in shorter, high-intensity bursts can place significant strain on the oblique, particularly for a power arm who generates velocity through his trunk rotation. It would not be surprising for soreness to emerge under those conditions, and the fact that Slaten himself characterizes the injury as manageable is an encouraging sign. That said, Red Sox fans have heard this story before. Last year, Slaten was forced to sit out for roughly 3 months with right shoulder inflammation, a stint that began as what many hoped would be a brief absence and ultimately stretched into a prolonged ordeal. There is a meaningful difference between a shoulder and an oblique, and there is a meaningful difference between Slaten's own assessment this time and the circumstances of that earlier injury. But history demands a degree of caution when projecting timelines. The hope is that the retroactive dating of this IL placement means he could be back relatively soon. The realistic posture is to wait and see how the tissue responds before making any firm declarations. In the meantime, this is a genuine blow to a bullpen that was already navigating some turbulence. Boston currently ranks in the bottom half of the league in bullpen ERA, and while that number is hardly catastrophic, it reflects a unit that has not yet performed up to its potential. Slaten himself had been excellent in his 4 appearances this season, striking out 5 batters without surrendering a single earned run before the injury sidelined him. Losing that production, even temporarily, forces Cora to reconfigure how he manages the bridge from the starter to Chapman, and that is not a trivial adjustment. Now let's talk about who steps in: Tyler Samaniego, a 27-year-old left-handed reliever who arrives in Boston for what will be his major league debut. Samaniego came to the Red Sox organization as part of the Johan Oviedo trade with the Pittsburgh Pirates this past offseason, originally selected by Pittsburgh in the 15th round of the 2021 MLB Draft. He has accumulated a 3.80 ERA across 130 minor league appearances, a body of work that reflects consistent, if unspectacular, production across multiple levels. His AAA numbers this season have been modest. In 4 appearances covering 5.1 innings pitched for Worcester, he carries a 3.38 ERA, with 3 strikeouts and 2 walks against a 1.31 whip. He has allowed runs in 3 of those 4 outings, including a 2-run appearance where a home run did the primary damage. By raw statistical standards, it is not a dominant stretch. But context matters here, and the context that matters most is spring training. Samaniego was arguably one of the most impressive arms in Boston's entire spring camp. Across 4 appearances, he did not allow a single run, not one earned, not one unearned, while striking out 6 batters over 5.1 innings of work. His standout outing came against the New York Yankees, where he faced 6 batters, did not allow a hit, and recorded 4 strikeouts. That is not a fluke performance. That is a pitcher who walked into a high-scrutiny environment, competed against legitimate major league hitters, and executed. Alex Cora took notice, specifically citing Samaniego's fastball angle and his sinker, and noting that he had been waiting to see what the lefty could do. Cora also received an enthusiastic endorsement from within the organization, with a former coach who had managed Samaniego at Double-A calling immediately after the trade to vouch for the pitcher's abilities. From a scouting standpoint, Samaniego works with a 3-pitch mix: a fastball that sits 93 to 95 miles per hour and can touch 97, a slider in the 82 to 85 range, and a changeup in the 85 to 87 band. The slider is the pitch with the most intriguing profile. It features a 2-plane break, and he has shown the ability to locate it within the strike zone. The concern, as noted by evaluators, is that the pitch has occasionally struggled to generate swings and misses at the AAA level. The current scouting consensus projects him as a potential up-and-down lefty reliever with a ceiling as a middle reliever, noting that while his fastball is major league quality, his secondary pitches still require development. That is an honest and fair assessment, and it is worth holding on to as you calibrate your expectations for what his time on this roster might look like. What Samaniego does provide, regardless of the scouting projections, is left-handedness. And that is a commodity that has genuine tactical value. The Red Sox already carry Joely Rodriguez and Danny Coulombe as left-handed options in the bullpen, and Chapman obviously brings elite velocity from the left side as the closer. The question is whether the existing lefty arms are generating enough confidence to fill specific roles. Coulombe has had his struggles, and Cora has been deliberate about wanting balance and depth in how he constructs his matchup options. With a stretch of upcoming games featuring a heavy slate of left-handed lineups, the case for carrying multiple southpaw options in the bullpen is a legitimate one right now. For Samaniego, this is the moment he has been building toward. His spring training performance earned him this opportunity in a very real sense. It was not a roster desperation move, it was a recognition of merit. But the major leagues operate differently than spring camp. The hitters are better, the counts are more consequential, and the margin for error narrows considerably. His first appearance will almost certainly come in a lower leverage situation, likely deployed in a matchup spot against a left-handed bat or two. That is the ideal introduction, Work against favorable counts, showcase the fastball angle, land the slider for strikes, and build a foundation of credibility with both the coaching staff and himself. If that slider continues to get left-handed hitters to chase, there is real utility here. If it trends toward contact rather than whiffs, then Boston will have a decision to make relatively quickly. Bullpen rosters are fluid by nature, and the Red Sox have shown no reluctance in cycling arms between Worcester and the Major League club when performance warrants it. The broader picture is this. Boston is navigating a bumpy early stretch. Slaten going down is a legitimate setback, and the optimism surrounding his recovery, while genuine, carries the asterisk that comes with a player who has now missed time in each of his first 3 professional seasons. The hope is that the retroactive dating of the IL stint allows for a relatively prompt return, and that when he does come back, it is with the full complement of his repertoire intact. In the interim, Samaniego gets his chance. He earned the call. Now he has to make the most of it. We will keep you updated on Slaten's progression throughout his IL stint. If anything develops on the injury front, in either direction, we will have coverage for you right here on Red Sox Focus. In the meantime, enjoy today's game, and we will see you in the next one.
Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.